Best case scenario, I'll find something else to put on there.
Feel that jet now.
Paint them and clean them and
Shonda Paul. So me go so then. Well, I don't really care what people say. I don't really watch what them want do. Still I got to sit to my girls like glue. And I might not play number 2. All I know the time it is getting jet. Need a lot of trees up in my head. Got a lot of damsel in my bed to run that real. Well, I know flicker girl, them out the road, them got the goody. One thing me have to tell them, don't take out the woody. Front way, back way, cut the came on up and shove it. Virgin, them want give me, and me have to talk it. Hot girls out the road, I say them see me. And I tell me, say them have something for gimme. How much time I night, them all a dream about the Jimmy. Them a promise, and I tell me, say you feel me. But a promise is a compared to a fool, so cool. But they don't know, say that man a fi rule the school. When I pet them, just wet them up just like a pool. When I dignitary way, I fi use up my tool. Well, I don't really care what people say. I don't really watch what them want do. Still I got to stick to my girls like glue. And I might not play number 2. All I know this time it is getting jet. Need a lot of cheese up in my head. Got a lot of damsel in my bed to run that real. So how can they want big up them chests? But they don't know that to go put they are rated as the best. I wouldn't they love it's a sound of all this. When I get up in I got your only girls with your request, just give me the girl them. Yo, in every minute I'm with it, forget the girl them. Excuse it and get them regular visit, just give me the girl them. Now them all a pressure, me sell it and say yeah, me I did that for them off a bit them big papa, give me the girl them. Off of the chronic we take a jag and I don't mean to brag. Every day I got to shag, give me the girl them.
Alright, back to the actual game now that I got all that other stuff done. Had a hell of a time getting that apron off. Somebody had just rigged it on there, and I see why they did it now. They're missing the threaded parts that press onto these ball guides. I see that pretty often. I'll figure something out. I might have to do something similar to what they did, but it's just how it goes. That's something that you see all the time on this game, and there's a couple others that use that setup. But anyway, that's what was going on there. I'm going to finish gutting this thing, get everything off of it. I don't know what I'll do with the planes. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll refinish these planes. I'm not going to get too crazy with them. I just want them to look nice. I'm not going down the rabbit hole on these planes. That's the least of my concern on this project. I want to build a really nice Indiana Jones. I don't give a fuck about toys on a playfield. All right, so with that said, let me finish gutting this thing. All right, I'm gonna work through this table of shit right here, and then I'll get into some more stuff. So, metal condition is a real problem on this game. I had a hell of a time taking it apart. Everything is either rusted, corroded, frozen in place, rigged, stripped. I mean, it's terrible. It's one of the worst games I've taken apart in a long time, as far as trying to get it broken down. Now, the condition of this metal tells me that I'll need to refinish it. You're not gonna be able to blast and tumble and corrosion seal your way out of this one. It's going to need a little bit more attention. So what I'll do with some of this metal bracketry that is exposed on the playfield is I'll turn them into, decent looking parts by blasting them, metal etching them, painting them, and clearing them, things like that. That'll be ways that I can tackle this stuff and enhance it at the same time. Because what the reality is that I have a problem here. So how do I solve that problem and take it up a notch at the same time? That's how I'll do that. So I'll work through some of this and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll take some more stuff off. All right, I got to pick through all my metal here and figure out what I'm going to do with what. So I'm kind of making categories. Stuff I'm going to tumble. Things I'm going to tumble are things that I don't trust any kind of refinishing process to, like, it would flake once it gets some action, like one of these, or just, when this thing goes up and down into the playfield holder, it would just chip. So those kind of things I'll tumble. And as far as screws go, I'm going to have all new screws. So I think what I really want to refinish is going to be these tube posts. They are in pretty rough shape. They're pretty corroded. The tumbler's probably not going to bring them back around. And even if it did, I don't know if that's the look I really want. Like if you use, I don't care if you use yellow star post or black star post or anything you use, landing all these metal posts all over the playfield is going to give it a little bit different look than what I'm looking for. I'd love to do these in like maybe copper or something a little bit more antique looking, but that's a process. I would have to plate it myself here in house, and I hate setting up electroplating. It's a mess. It's a pain in the ass. It's not worth it. I'd rather just refinish it, and so I'll probably do that. So I'll probably pick all these tube posts out of here and string them together and refinish those, and then tumble the rest. All right, let's process some more metal. I decided I don't want to have any stainless steel on here. I decided I want to get rid of all the stainless steel. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll say black it out, but it's not really going to be black. We've already been over that, but just in the interest of keeping it kind of simple, we'll say I'm going to black it out, and I'll just bead blast it, metal etch it, base coat it, matte clear coat it, and then we're good to go. And the biggest thing that people ask me when they see me do something like this is it going to hold up? And the answer is yes, it's going to hold up. It's not going to be any problem. I'm a high-end auto painter by trade. I don't paint anything I know isn't going to hold up, you know, but there's a process to it. You don't just rattle can this shit. And I think that's where a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the chemical process and all the things that go on, so they don't understand how this is done or how this could be done. But it takes a lot of equipment and a lot of know-how and some specialty to do it. But it's very easy for me. This is easy work. This is no big deal. As a matter of fact, I think aside from having to anchor everything down so it doesn't blow all around later, I'd rather do this than have to re-grain them. That's the truth. But it does burn up a lot of materials too. But easy for me to say, and you can watch me do it. But just know when I'm doing this, because I don't respond to all the comments, and I don't always give the most thorough thing. I just kind of throw something up here. But just know, anything that I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, or maybe that's just not how it's going to be when it's all said and done. You're just watching me work through a process. All right, so watch me work through it, and here we go. All right, and I'm ready to spray this stuff. So I'll metal etch it first. I'll let that set a little bit, then I'll base right over that, and then I'll matte clear it. It'll be fine. But one of the things you need to know is the most painful part of doing this is trying to get everything set up to where you can spray it good and it doesn't fly off. You don't want to over tighten this stuff. Like I know most people think, oh, you crank the screw all the way down. Well, if you do that, it might bridge. You want it to be kind of floppy so the paint and the air can kind of blow through it. And I don't know, there it is. We'll see how it goes.
About you, but baby,
there's an echo in here, so I'm gonna talk a whole lot, but I'll show you a couple things and go over it. So all my stuff's done. I got all my metal blacked out that I wanted to black out. It's not really black, as you can see the teaser video. It's more of like this. It looks black, but it's not black. That's the only thing I can tell you. But I'm gonna go over this because this is a prime example of why I like to paint this stuff and refinish it the way I do instead of have it powder coated or plated. Something like this one-way gate. You see that? That works flawlessly. See how easy that wire travels? No problems. That opens and closes all day long, easy. You get that thing powder coated or plated, I can promise you from years and years of experience, that's not gonna be the case. This thing's gonna bind, it's gonna fight you, and you're gonna try to fix it and make it work, and then you're just gonna have all that stuff that they put on there flaking off anyway. So I like the control that I have by doing it myself. I can determine how much material I put on there. I can actuate it while it's still wet to make sure it's freed up. And these are all things nobody's going to do for you if you hire them to powder coat it or plate it. So there it is. All right, I'm ready to start building up some of these stainless steel assemblies like this rope bridge. As I was showing you previously, it's really important that things actuate and work properly. In regards to whether or not this is going to wear or chip or anything like that, what I would tell you is it's going to develop a ball trail just like stainless steel does, like a play field does, like a plastic ramp does. I mean, you can't roll a ball over and over the surface repeatedly and never have a mark on it. I think that's a little bit kind of annoying when people expect that, because it's like, it's always still going to be a pinball machine. But the real question is this a durable enough finish? Is this finish on par with or better than what it was originally? Well, bare stainless steel is pretty hard to beat from a toughness perspective, obviously, but what kind of move is this? And let's see. I think a good test is going to be like kind of hammer at it with a ball. I'm going to pick this area because the plastic does go over it, because I want to abuse it, not because it's going to see the same kind of use it's going to see in the game. But let me abuse it for just a minute and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna let you see very closely. Not even a dimple, not even a dimple from that. Not even a dimple. So you might wonder, how's that so durable? How do you do that? Well, it's the materials that are used. That flattening agent that you put in clear, it makes clear very hard. I kind of discovered this when I had to resand a cabinet that I painted years ago. I had put a lot of flattening agent in it. It was just a little too flat, and I had to sand it again to gloss it up, and it was killing my sandpaper. I think I wound up having to break down to like 180 grit to really start to level this stuff. And that's when I realized that this flattening agent, it doesn't just flatten, it makes it harder. It creates a harder shell. So that's why, I have full confidence in this process, and I will do something like this without hesitation, even on a high profile project like this. I got full confidence in it. So, do I need to line this whole thing with Mylar? No, I don't need to line any of this with Mylar, because the only thing that's going to happen is the ball's just going to roll around this pretty gently. And, it's probably going to develop a ball trail in it. That's to be expected. But I don't see any problems with it. Now, let's talk about like that steel ramp, that really steep steel ramp. Yeah, I'm going to line that thing in Mylar because it's going to get so many direct shots at it. It's just, all you got to do is just catch it wrong. No matter how durable the finish is, it is a finish. All you got to do is catch it wrong and you could chip it. So I'll have protections in place. But I just wanted to kind of give you a real world demonstration of what kind of finish this is and just how durable it is. And again, not even a dimple in the actual finish itself. Never mind not chipping or any of those things. Not even a dimple. So that's pretty good. Let's proceed with full confidence now. All right, here's an attempt at a voiceover on some of this stuff. So right here, I'm trying to line that steel ramp with Mylar. It took me quite a bit to cut out some sections or design some sections that I could cut out on my silhouette to fit in there properly, but I finally got that figured out. It's just, you know, you can take pictures of it, you can trace it, you can do a lot of different things, but you gotta cut it and fit it and mess with it some. So that's what I'm doing. And then after I get it laid out, I squeegee it with a plastic razor blade. Now the reason I use the wet method when I'm doing this is because since it's black, I don't want there to be any bubbles. Anything like that would completely show. So it's very important that it's well applied with no bubbles, no fogginess, nothing like that. And there it is, finished. When you see that brass or bronze looking flap, I mean, that thing's top shelf. I've had that for quite a while. It looks kind of beaten, aged, and it's perfect for the build. So there you go. All right, here comes some more voiceover for you. I'm not real good at this, but I'm going to do my best because I think it's going to work better than trying to put captions up here, because this part in particular can be hard to convey in captions. So what's going on here is I'm trying to scheme to figure out a really good way to bridge my path to adventure to the inside walls of my cabinet. We know that's like this brown stained wood, and so I'm looking at the path to adventure and I'm kind of figuring it out, because when I look at it, it's a lot of browns, there's a lot of reddish browns and things like that, so that translucent red's not going to work here. So you might think that this is brown. Ultimately it kind of comes out to be brown, but it's not. It's a combination of colors. A lot of the things that I do are that. They're a combination of colors to give effects, to give some depth, that's from texture to whatever it is I'm painting. So it's actually black, and then orange is sprayed over it, and then I'll spray black over it again, then I'll spray orange over it, and I'll continue that process. It could take 30 or 45 minutes of just spraying and working it to get the effect that I'm after. But once I see it, I'll know it's where it needs to be, and I'll show you that once that's perfected. But that's what you're going to be seeing here, and I won't bore you with all the details of me spraying it, but just know that's the process that's taking place in front of you right here, and then we'll see what it looks like on the back end. Alright, now I'm clearing it, and it's just the same matte clear that I would use for a lot of the other parts. That 70-30 split should give it a nice durable finish and not too glossy of a look, but some sheen. I'll cut away in just a minute and we'll see what it looks like in its final form. What I'm going for here is like kind of an earthy, more authentic, realistic look, as much as you can do with a big piece of molded plastic, but that's what it's going to be. And you know, I'm not going to try to sit here and paint every little stone or do anything like that. That gets to be too much. I like this kind of implied style. That's what I'm into. So here we go. We'll see what it looks like when it's all done. These Path of Adventure rails, I know they look brown, but they're not brown. They are black and orange. What I basically have to do is it's a series of different overspraying techniques and patterns to pull this off. But basically I take and put a black base on there, and then I dust orange on it, then I dust black on it, then I dust orange on it, then I just go back and forth until it gets the look I want. And the reason that's important is because I don't ever want it to look solid. I want it to look kind of peppery and gravelly, more authentic, more stone-like, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'll look at it really closely and you can get a better appreciation for it, I hope. There you go. You can kind of see that texture in there. You can see that gradient in it. All right, so you get that, and that's going to land really nice on that mini playfield. And what that's also going to do is really park itself nicely right up against those stained wooden walls. It's not going to look like, you know, out of place. And of course, I have these little fancy things that somebody sent me to put on there that match. So that's kind of where things are at. All right, there's my Path to Adventure built up. I got all the brackets that I had to blast and everything I painted and everything I shaded and all the effects that I did on there. It looks good. The person that owns the game sent it with all new boards. I mean, every single board's brand new, and then of course I had to black all this stuff out that was rusted and corroded, so it looks pretty good. The only thing I'm curious about right now is like, what are these lane guides gonna look like lit up? So I'll hook them up to the 9-volt and see what they look like. I anticipate no matter what, we're going to get a good bit of light through these star posts, but we'll see. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks real good. As a matter of fact, they still have a little bit of a red tint to them, which isn't a bad thing. So light's coming through there very well. So I'm happy with that. I think that's going to work good. You know, and that's something you always got to think about. What does it look like on? What does it look like off? And that's one of the things. It's a little bit of a different subject, but that's one of the things that makes touching up translight or backglass so difficult. You know, if you get it to look just like you want it with the lights off, then you turn it on, all of a sudden it doesn't look so good. So anyway, I think we're good there. I almost got the table cleared today. I got a lot of stuff done, but I got my Path to Adventure done. It looks good. I'm happy as shit with that. And it won't be too long before I think this thing's starting to really come together. All right, here are a couple other things I forgot along the way, but I'm gonna throw them in here now. So the back panel, built that up as far as it needs to go until it's actually ready to put into the game. I don't want to have the motor hanging off the back of it or anything, but that looks really good. Okay, here is my plastic set. It's all built up. It's got the black tumbled hardware. It looks really nice. There's those ball guides that I refinished. Here's the black nickel wire form. I'm using orange targets. I like orange targets on Indiana Jones best. And there it is. So I can move on to what's next now. Here's the idle. I'm just going to use this idle. It suits my needs best. It's kind of dirty and dingy. I like that. I don't want to clean it up. I'll show you a new idle that I have. All right, I had to gather all my idle options. So this is the original that came off the game, and this is the one I'm going to use. I can just tell you that flat out. I could wash it, but I try not to. I kind of like it if they get a little bit dingy, and to leave them alone. It adds to the charm of it and the look. And the other reason I don't like to clean these unless I absolutely have to is what I'm going to show you right here. This is an original to where if you do start to clean it, a lot of times you'll get this look where it's just like wearing that finish right off to the plastic. That's why there's such a need for these very often. I have a few originals here. So this little group right here, these three are all originals. So you got this original right here that's kind of degrading. You got this original right here. Somebody's probably tried to doctor up with a little bit of gold paint, but not too much. There's still some of that authentic look left behind, but not a lot. And then you got this one where they just spray painted it gold. That's what that is. And those are all originals, and they all fit and function and work perfectly fine. This little group right here are recent reproductions. They're pretty good if you're in a pinch. The one thing I would say about them is they look like they're just gold painted, like somebody just took gold paint and painted them. The other concern I have with them is the feet, we'll call that. These are the feet, are a little bit more narrow, and it's a pretty rigid material. I worry that these might blow out if you go to put it. You'd probably have to be really careful drilling and tapping these to make sure that you don't crack these legs out. They are definitely not as substantial as the original feet. Now, I don't know if you can really see that in this video or not, but I'll try to give you the best vantage point I can. But you know, you can see how much thicker this is than this. So this isn't giving you a whole lot to work with to land the bracket that it mounts to. So anyway, got two that look like they're just painted gold, and this one's, you know, where they tried to enhance it a little bit, and they didn't do a bad job. I'm not going to shit on it, but I'm just going to say it's not quite good enough to be my first choice. Now, I do have these more showy ones that I just recently got. This one, my only criticism about this one, and this is a process, this plastic plating process to where it looks like it's actually plated is a process, but this batch turned out a little bit too silver. This really looks more like silver than gold, and so it's a little bit too silver looking. This one in particular is a little bit more golden, still not quite gold enough. Ideally you'd want something to look like about like it looks like in that little crack in the eye, but you know, I don't know how much of that you can control. I've looked into doing this process myself. It's easily in my wheelhouse, but a lot of times the setup for things like that just don't pay off. I mean, every so often you're gonna paint an idle head in a supercharger for a high-speed 2, or maybe a helmet for a Bride of Pinbot, and that's about it. There's not a lot of carryover for this type of finish in the pinball restoration world. But anyway, these look good. These are improvements. These may actually be originals, and they've been plated. I'm not quite sure. It's hard to tell. They do have the screw holes in them already. Usually if you're looking for an original or to tell if one's original, this one probably won't show it that well. This one does. See those little 3 notches right there, 2 notches right there, 1 notch right there. That's how you line the bracket up. Those marks would probably tell you that, yeah, that's an original. I don't know if that would be done on a reproduction, but I'm not sure. But those are my idle options. I have many, but this is my choice. All right, and we continue on. All right, there you go. There's another installment. I'm having a hell of a time putting these videos together for you just because I have so many different processes that I'm running through, and so much kind of like there's no plan. I'm just on the fly. I'm like, I'll look at stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. All right, I'm going to do that. And then, you know, it just makes it where it's a lot harder to have like a little bit of a cohesive amount of footage. Whereas if I just was taking this game apart and I was just doing my thing, I'd be like, okay, I got a formula for that, and we just here we go. But no formula for this. You're watching me figure it out as I go. And to that point, I just want to say, you know, people question every move you're making and how you could have done this better. And what, you know what, man? I've been doing this shit for 25 years. I know what I'm doing. I don't need a lot of advice. You know, it's not as easy or straightforward as you think it is. It's easy to watch somebody else do something and then critique it, but it's a whole nother thing for you to be the one that's got to figure it out and do it. That's a whole different story. So, you know, the fucking peanut gallery sometimes will piss you off, but most people are pretty cool on here, so I'm not too worried about it. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully it won't be long before I start putting this shit together.